Welcome to Building Your Empire with Sophie Zoe. I am so excited for this week's episode. We are going to talk about goals, planning, and implementation. Why? Because those are the three key steps to success in everything you do life, business, whatever it is, you need to have these three key factors in your plan of action. Step number two. For achieving the success you desire. And here's the thing about success. I'm going to talk about that for a second first. Success is defined by you, nobody else. Don't have that envy of someone else who's making a million, a billion, or whatever, because that may not be the right goal for you. What is the true goal for you? Or, I'm sorry, the true success that you want? Success is what is defined by you. Is that happiness? Is it freedom to do what you want? Is it $1 million in revenue? Is it, I want to go swimming in the pool every day? Of course, you got to live somewhere where it's a nice weather or an indoor pool. I want to go to the beach every day. Whether or not you live there, it's okay because you can travel if you want to create a travel lifestyle that you want to live. So, success is defined by you first and foremost. So decide on what success looks like for you. And then these three key steps that we're going to talk about today are what are going to get you that success. Once you know what success looks like for you, you're going to go through three little steps here. Well, they're not so little, but your first step is setting goals, big ones and little ones. Ultimately, how you define success is going to be the way you define and get clear on the big goal or a couple of big goals. And then you're going to break the big goal, that success, and what defines it and what the goal is that will reach that success, going to break it down into little goals. Because if you just look at this big goal, no matter what it is, and go, I'm going to do this, and this is going to be success for me. And you go, oh my gosh, that's so overwhelming. What do I got to do? When by what? What by when? All of those different things. So first, take your definition of success and get clear on the big goal that is going to get you there. Then get clear on the little goals along the way from the beginning to the end to get you there. Now, so you got some goals. Great. What are you going to do with those goals? Because again, you've got to achieve the goals to achieve the success that you want. So step two is planning. You got to plan. You got to create a step-by-step strategy and tactics to achieve the big goal that you broke down into smaller goals. And then you've got to break that down into even smaller plans and strategies, not necessarily goals, because you can get too minute and too minutia and too little, so to speak, on your goals to where you're going to have shiny object syndrome, to be honest. We can't break it down too far, or you're just going to be jumping from one thing to another and not really sure you're doing what you need to do to achieve that success. So you're going to create a plan where that is the strategy and the tactics for achieving the small goals that will lead to the big goal, which leads to your success. And then, of course, none of this matters without step number three, implementation. You actually have to do the plan. You have to put the plan in action and do the things in each step of the plan that are going to achieve the small goals that lead to the big goals that lead to your success. Now, implementation means a lot of things to a lot of people. There's a lot of doing involved with implementation. But guess what? There's also management involved in implementation. There is also KPIs and metrics and tracking, because it's all good to have this big goal broken down into smaller goals, broken down into a plan of action that's going to take you, 3, 6, 12 months to get there. And then you don't do anything and you don't manage it and you don't track it. You don't know if it's working. And here's it. Here's the other thing. If you're not doing it, you're obviously not tracking it, but ultimately you've got to build that plan into action steps and then determine who's going to do what by when, and you're going to set up KPIs and metrics that measure each step of implementation, each part of the plan that leads to the goal. Because if you don't track what you're doing that is going to achieve your goal, you'll never know if you're going to get there. Not really. Or you'll know if you get there or not, but you won't know why. Because ultimately, you're going to rinse and repeat this process every step of the way. And the only way you can rinse and repeat is if you're implementing the plan of action and tracking the success or failure of each step of that plan and the implementation of it. And that requires planning and management and implementation, lots of people, because guess what? You can't do this alone. You shouldn't do this alone. You will overwhelm yourself. You will be stressed and you will be working 24/7. And, most of us started our businesses to have freedom, to have a life outside of the business. Yes, when you're first getting started, you need to do a lot of it yourself. But if you're thinking things through, planning and setting goals and implementing, you will quickly come to the point where you've got to have other people helping you out. And that's not just the people that are doing the implementation. It's the people who are mapping it, the people who are managing it, who are overseeing and leading those people, and you. Because ultimately, to achieve the success that you defined at the very beginning of this process, you've got to be able to focus on only what you need to do, only your genius, and only the things that you can do to get that all going in the right direction. So, if you're ready to create that big plan for that big success and break it down into smaller chunks, into tactics and strategy and implementation and management and everything in between, let's do it. If you have any questions about it, you can comment below. You can DM me, or you can go to my website, check out what we do, because we are all things marketing, management, and operations. We're the all-in-one team that you plug and play in the back of your business. We hit the ground running, and we can help you set the goals, plan it step by step, and then implement it, manage it, track it, and see how you're doing and how we're doing. Because building a business, creating a 7 or 8 figure business, whatever your ideal is, having more impact, helping more people, whatever that is done so much easier and a bit faster when you have the support you need. And don't forget, it's not just about the team of people helping you out on the back end of the business. It's coaches, mentors, masterminds, all of the things that are going to help you achieve these goals, this success, sooner rather than later, with ease and grace and time and space. Let's not hustle grind to do this. Let's enjoy the ride, and let's have a life while we do this, so that ultimately when you reach that success, you're not burnt out, you're not fried, you're not ready to give up and say, oh, well, I made it, but gosh, I'm so burnt out and tired, I really don't want to do this anymore. Let's do it the easy way, the graceful way, the fun way, because we're not doing this if we're not having fun. Because if you're not having fun, then I think you might have chose a plan or a goal that really isn't the true goal. Because one other thing that you want to consider in this entire process of how you define success, the goals, the planning, and all that goes with it to achieve it, is why you want that success. What is the why behind your success? Because if you're choosing a goal just randomly, success definition randomly based on what others are doing, what you think you want to do, what you think will make you happy, it's going to be harder, and it may not work, and it may not really motivate you and inspire you to go for it. So define success. And while you're defining it, make sure the why behind that definition is truly what's coming from your heart and soul, what you really desire, what will really make you happy, what whatever that is. And then set the goals, create the plan, and then implement and track, tweak and revise, and keep moving over time and space to get it done. So that's all I've got for you today. I appreciate you stopping by and taking a listen. Remember, the 3 keys to success are defining that success first, and then the keys are setting the goals, making the plans to achieve the goals, and implementing on those plans, tracking it, making sure everything's working and you're going in the right direction. I appreciate your time today. Thank you for stopping by. And of course, I'll see you next week.